Okay, everyone, and we are live, and I am joined with two awesome YouTubers. We got The View with Drew over here, and we got Cade. And so these are both some of the most friendly YouTubers that you guys can find on YouTube. You guys should check out both. They will be in the title and description. As soon as I edit that, I was lazy and just decided to do with an old Q&A thing. So uh, why don't you guys introduce yourself, Drew?
Hello, my name is The View with Drew. I do movie reviews for YouTube, and I do other things like create various shorts, make Lego Marvel and DC short films, and
Bangers.
actually, I very recently have had the thought of doing some hilarious skits in a Wolverine costume.
Oh man, yeah, those are hilarious. Keep those up, please. And
I will definitely
Cade?
keep this up.
Oh yeah, Cade.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm Cade McLean, and that's my channel title. And I just like to talk anything about movies and TV shows, so I post that type of stuff there. And actually, like Drew was saying, I have some stuff in Spider-Man costumes because Spider-Man's my favorite superhero of all time. And I actually have a couple Lego things on my channel as well. Drew, I've seen, I think you posted a Red Hulk video the other day, and I watched that and I enjoyed that. So keep up the good work.
Thank
Oh
you
yeah,
so much.
you both do awesome at your jobs. That's says there's 7 people in here. No way. Film Get High. Connor, it's finally the week. Yep, I see it on Wednesday. So excited. Child of the One True King. Agreed. But I know it's, for the sake of me being lazy, I'll just say Yarnia. Yarnia soup. I think that meant to be sup or I mean sup. Godzilla, have you seen The Bourne Legacy and Jason Bourne yet? This is me referring to the fact that I told him I was going through the Bourne franchise since I got them on Blu-ray, and I watched the trilogy. I got to Legacy. I haven't made it through yet. I've just have been procrastinating and been watching other stuff, so I've not gotten them to them yet. They are going to be done very soon. I'm just trying to get done with some more of the X-Men movies, though. Connor, Drew should do that when he reviews Deadpool and Wolverine. So yeah, so Drew, you know what to do. Get the Wolverine costume out for Deadpool and Wolverine.
I will definitely do that.
Or better yet, dress up to that when you go to the premiere. You'll be the star of the show.
Dude, I'm waiting for the next Spider-Man movie to come out so I can wear my Spider-Man costume so bad. Like I'm just, I got it after the last Across the Spider-Verse and No Way Home came out. So I'm waiting for that next one to come out so I can wear it.
Yeah, understandable. I need to find some time to start. I mean, it's hard to find a costume that'll fit a 6'3" teenager with size 16 shoes. So it's a bit hard to find something that'll fit me nowadays. Which again, if you don't believe that's what I really am like, totally fair. Not many people are like that. So I legitimately do not blame you if you don't believe me. Connor, I'm seeing it Friday. Oh yeah. I am pumped. This is something that you guys probably won't understand. Did you row in 60? No, I did not. Connor, okay, thank you. Oh yeah. I completely forgot about that. So I think why don't we just start out with some questions for everyone. So, and this is a question that, again, hot topic. What are some of your worries and concerns of going into Deadpool and Wolverine? Both of you. We'll go in alphabetical order so Cade narrowly beats Drew. So you go first.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know if you guys saw the trailer that dropped. I think it was 2 days ago. I think it was Friday. That I was a little bit worried about how they were going to handle the tone of combining something like Wolverine with Deadpool, especially since we ended on Logan for Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. I preferably, most of my superhero movies, I like to be a little bit more serious. Now, that doesn't mean I like both the Deadpool movies, but I was a little concerned about how they were going to clash tonally, but with the trailer yesterday, I don't really have any doubts with that. So the only thing that I have more as an MCU problem is like I'm holding a lot of weight on this movie to save the MCU. So I just really hope that it can fix and make fun of some of the errors they've had in the past and really get us going forward and looking bright in the future. So that would be my only concern that I have from what I've seen so far.
Drew?
So I'm looking forward to Deadpool and Wolverine. Admittedly, the first thing I was worried about was kind of like what you said, Ledger, was what if it, like, hopefully does not tarnish the ending of Logan, because obviously Logan was such a great ending to Wolverine's story. But gratefully, it looks like this trailer has confirmed. The trailer confirmed that the Wolverine that's going to be in this movie is not like the same one. It's like one from another reality, but he's also played by Hugh Jackman. Even though this new trailer revealed, I'll just say something, unless I can just straight up say what it is.
We'll keep that top secret because we'll get why when we get to what I talked about. When I'm going to talk about kind of that without revealing anything, but we'll talk about that. Just let's keep that a little bit secret. We'll see why later. So anything else?
Not anything else. I'll say I'm looking forward to it, and I'm glad to hear that, like, the first people who got to see the first 30 to 40 minutes said it was awesome.
I believe there was a rumor that that scene in like the trailer where like both of them are like jumping through that the portal.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that that's when they cut off the movie, and that like that's intentionally just meant to like, okay, now we're getting to the good stuff. And most people say that all the stuff in the trailer is like the first 45 minutes. So we're going to get a lot of new stuff that they haven't even put in the trailer yet. And I really hope that is true. Because if you take a look at at all the trailers, it's basically just them doing the same skit from these scenes. They just do it from like a different framing point and stuff. They have stuff once in a while, but for the most part, it's just like scenes that are just for the most part just within the same thing. So there's gonna be a lot of new stuff, I hope. And I love that. This is a little bit of a spoiler, but I love that line that Deadpool drops in. I believe it was the second trailer or the one where he's like, Disney's bringing him back. They're gonna be making him do this till he's 90. I thought that line was hilarious. Okay, this is definitely a big worry, but I talked to my coworker about this, and he agrees with me. Is that Logan? You have Logan on one hand, one of the most dark, depressing, violent, grisly movie ever. And then on the other hand, you have Deadpool, one of the most funny, lighthearted, not lighthearted, one of the most funny, just like gut busting movies you will ever watch. And then you take those two characters and trying to mash them into each film. It feels very much like, I don't know about this, but it looks like Logan could be getting a lot of the self-parody treatment. Like they're either going to be making fun of him a lot, or I don't even know, because something that I thought that was hilarious is in that trailer where Logan actually starts laughing. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's the first time Hugh Jackman has ever smiled, besides looking at Jean Grey. Isn't that the first time that Hugh Jackman has ever smiled playing Wolverine? It's one of the only times, I know that.
Does he not smile in X-Men Origins Wolverine when he has the other girlfriend?
I mean, I'm excluding all girlfriends in this case. Because you're a terrible person if you don't do that to your girlfriend. So we'll exclude that stuff.
Okay, that was the only other time that I could think of. So
it's like there might be like one scene at like the dinner. I like the dinner scene in Logan where he might do it. Other than that, he basically is just one of those just like very straight-faced people. So that kind of caught me off guard. Like he's actually laughing. So this must be really funny. And one thing that I hated about the new trailer that they put out, and not that I didn't like it, I hated it. There's a certain character that we get introduced to in this trailer that people are going to lose their minds about. And I hated the fact that they spoiled that in the trailer. Like,
I know.
Everyone was wanting to see. And she even said, went on record to say she can't say if she's in the movie or not. And then they decide to spoil it in the freaking trailer before the movie's about, like a week before the movie's about to release. And I really want to be happy that she's coming back. I would have loved it so much if that could have been a surprise. Anyway, rant over. So what do you guys think of that without going to spoil it?
For me, see, because I have similar problems to what you're talking about tonally. Like, how are you gonna, like, we just came off Logan, which is probably one of the most grounded, if not the most grounded superhero film that's ever been made, and definitely most character focused superhero film that's ever been made. And then we have something like Deadpool, which when it came out, super fresh, just a ton of energy going in there. I mean, we all know the vibes that Deadpool is giving. When she was introduced in this trailer, I think that was kind of meant for the people that have concerns like us to let you know in her dialogue with what was said to Logan. And this probably, like, it looks like for the most part, I'm 99% sure this is not going to be the same variant of Wolverine whatsoever. That it's letting us know that, hey, like, we're paying our respect to the Old Man Logan storyline, but we know what we're doing here. Like, we know that this is a new character, but basically it's keeping in the same. I'm trying not to spoil what's going on.
Yeah. Hold on. Okay, guys, I'm getting tired of this. Spoilers ahead. Go ahead, because I'm getting tired. I need to say something about that.
Yeah. So X-23 was in the trailer at the very end, and she was talking to the new Wolverine, and basically was just like, yeah, you were never the guy until you were, which that line alone lets me know that the people behind this film know exactly what type of character Wolverine is, and they're taking it serious. And I really don't think Hugh Jackman would have came back if they were just going to make fun of him the whole time. I think this is going to have a story to tell. So that's why me personally, I'm fine with her being shown, because I think it was more for people that were worried after Logan of this is just going to be a big joke fest. I'm not interested. So I'm fine with her being in it. Could have they kept her out of it? For me, yeah, because I was already excited. But for some other people, I think it may help them go see this film.
Yeah, it's one of those things where this is like going to be debatably the most big event of the 2020 so far. Regardless of the fact that it's most likely not beating Top Gun Maverick in terms of box office, it without a doubt is going to have more global hype around it, because Top Gun Maverick did not have like global hype or anything. It was literally a sequel to a movie no one asked for. It just turned out to be fantastic. So this movie is going to have a lot. There's going to be people that are going to absolutely hate it, probably for no reason, because they want to be on like that end of like, it's terrible for no reason, but you're going to get a lot of stuff. Godzilla, what do you guys think about the changes being done to Avengers: The Kang Dynasty? Very frustrating that we're no longer getting Kang, because isn't that what they went on record? Is the reason that they're changing it because they're no longer using Kang, or
from what I've heard is that they no longer want to go forward with Kang because of the Jonathan Majors problems, obviously. And I just looked it up before, and that's basically what the rumors are right now, that they're no longer going forward with that direction.
Drew, you got any thoughts on that?
I don't mind the change, because while Jonathan Majors obviously did a great job, but of course, there was the obvious allegations about him.
But I swore that I thought that they went out and said that he was like accused of something. I thought that entire thing went away, and I was like, okay, this thing is finally done. Then like 2 to 3 months later, it's like, wait, it's back? How did this thing happen? What happened? Does anybody know what happened with that?
From what I can remember, and you guys can correct me, or someone in the chat can correct me if I'm wrong, is it did go away because at first the allegations were false, like someone made a false testimony against him, but then it came back up months later that it actually was true, the problem that was going on. So, because I know that Michael B. Jordan has come out and said that was true, and Marvel and Disney have let him go. So I would assume it's true. Now that it also could not be true, because I mean, we know what happened with James Gunn. And Disney let him go, but Marvel didn't, and then they brought him back because there's allegations against him. But from my understanding, that's what I think is going on with Jonathan Majors right now.
Michael B. Jordan knew about this?
No, I'm talking about actually, I think it happened after the filming of Creed 3 was done, because he didn't want to be in any of the photos with Jonathan Majors, and it wasn't clear if he didn't want to be in the photos because these allegations had come out, or if he thought that they were true. Does that make sense? Like, he didn't want the negative press, because he was like, I don't know if this is true or not, or it could have been he thought it was true and didn't want anything to do with him.
That's completely fair. And Godzilla, the complete overhaul and different direction they are taking with it now. Yeah. Although I will say this, if anyone knows Kevin Feige, please share this video to him, because since we no longer have Kang here, I have the perfect idea for the new big bad of the MCU, and I don't want to get a single person that's going to say, oh, now we have to use the Sentinels from Eternals. No. The Eternals can go F themselves. Those things are useless and have been nothing. They are still there. We have not gotten a single thing about them, and it's been like, what is it? It's been like 3 years since we got Eternals. We need to use Doctor Doom. We must get Doctor Doom. He's like the perfect.
Dang, did we lose Drew?
I think he should be back in a second. I'll quickly do that. But again, we need Doctor Doom. He will be the perfect big bad of the MCU. Get a chance to do him right, because both versions of Fantastic Four have managed to do him dirty. And I didn't think it was possible to do him even more dirty after what they did to him in that 2015 one. What did you think of that, by the way?
A Fan Four Stick?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that movie is just terrible.
Oh yeah, I didn't even like it when I first saw it. I hated it.
Yeah, no, I still remember seeing it I saw it with my brother in theaters, and there's nothing even memorable or good about it whatsoever. Like, there's not one scene, in my opinion, maybe the flashback scenes when they were younger, and like I can't even remember what the actor's name is. I know Miles Teller was Mr. Fantastic, but the guy that played the Thing, about like when they were at school and he was getting bullied and he stuck up for him, like that scene was okay. But after that, like the whole second and third act is just devoid of anything fantastic.
It's a bit of a generic type of like a sci-fi movie at first, and then at a certain point where we get in like Doom or where as soon as they get to the planet, it goes off the rails, and it goes off hard. Like it like completely destroys itself after that. Maybe if you wanted to use a small positive, maybe just because we all know how awesome he is as an actor, you could use Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, no,
that is the small sliver.
I just released a huge video today talking about the complete Marvel movie history.
Yeah.
Just huge video before Deadpool and Wolverine. And so when I was doing research for it, and when I was talking about that movie in its section, I was just like, not even Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan can help this film out. That's just my personal opinion. Like, they're fantastic actors, and not even like they couldn't do anything with the writing or the plot with what was going on. Like, I haven't watched that movie in so long, but from what I remember, I just thought it was so weird how when Mr. Fantastic is going on the run, do you know what I'm talking about? Like when he goes away from the team because like he feels like it's his fault, that sort of thing. Yeah. He's going away from the government. Like I just, in that moment, I was like, this is supposed to be Marvel's first team and family. And we're literally having a whole section in the movie where the leader of this team and family is running away from his family. Like it just didn't, to me, it was so distant from what they're supposed to be that I was like, I don't know what I'm watching right now. Like this just doesn't feel like when the Thing and Mr. Fantastic fight in the forest, I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. Like for me, the Fantastic Four should be like the Incredibles, where they have that very family centric feel. And like I just, for whatever reason, Fan Force, they had no idea what it was doing.
Two things. One, Drew, I think might be gone. I don't know if he's coming back. If he does, we'll add him back in, but just want to put that one out. And also, I'll die on the hill. In terms of movie form, the X-Men are a better family than the Fantastic Four are. Because, again, like Chris Evans is very charismatic in like the first
two original films.
Yeah. They are terrible films, both. I will die on that hill forever. They are terrible.
Yeah, both of them. I think they each have good stuff in them, but neither of them are good at all.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, none of them really have chemistry with each other. Jessica Alba's pretty awful in both. Like, I mean, Chris Evans is trying his best, but he can't even elevate the film. He's elevating as much as he can. And Rise of the Silver Surfer, which I was really looking forward to watching because it's like I have wanted to see Silver Surfer in a movie for so long. When I watched it, crushing disappointment.
Yeah, did you like the fart cloud Galactus?
No, I actually was furious at that.
Yeah,
I will never forgive them for that.
I know it's crazy. It's just yeah, it's not good. I do still have fond memories of Chris Evans playing the Human Torch, though. I actually think he does a really good job as Johnny Storm. I will give those movies that.
I agree.
I think he's actually a good Johnny Storm. Especially, I can't remember. I think it's the first movie where he's in the hotel room or hospital bed, and there's that hot nurse with him, and she's like, "You're heating up." And he was like, "So are you?" And she was talking about his body temperature, and he was talking about her being attractive. Do you remember that scene? Do you know what? I can't remember if that's from the first or the. I think it's from the first one.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the first.
I don't think he knows he has the
years, but
yeah, I don't think he has the power. He knows he has the powers yet, and that's when they first start figuring out that stuff is going wrong with them.
Yeah, I need to address this. Oh yeah, that's my lamp. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, sorry. Doctor Doom has had a rough to with big screen. Yep. Hopefully he can be done justice. Exactly what the MCU has to do it. Get it like a really great actor. Like I'm trying to think who could really pull off a great Doctor Doom.
Dude, I saw this take, and I'm all for this. And they said to get Henry Cavill to do it, and I'm all for Henry Cavill doing it. I think it'd be really weird, but I think he would be fantastic. Like I just think Henry Cavill has the acting chops, and I think he has the physical prowess to play someone like Victor Von Doom. That's just my
and now I need to see it.
Yeah.
MCU, you know what to do. Get your money out and get Henry Cavill. I need that now. I don't care how terrible that is. I need to see that. Henry Cavill being Doctor Doom. Although he doesn't exactly look like Doctor Doom of what I've seen of him. Again, both versions of him look terrible. Whether it's the human version or the garbage CGI on either version. Like if you would have told me back in 2000 when the first one came out. I think it was 2005 when the first one came out, and it didn't look. I don't even think it looked very good when it came out. Did it?
No, it's always been made fun of for like spotty CG.
Yeah, I mean, like if you would have told me when the first one released that there's going to be a remake 10 years later, and the CGI they use on that will be significantly worse, I would have told you that you're crazy. And now looking back, it's like, how did they make CGI that looks this much worse? Like the CGI in the 2015 was offensive. It is offensive.
I personally think that that's one of the, if I did a top 10 worst superhero movies ever, 100% is going to be in that video if I did it.
Wouldn't quite be my number one. It's in the competition of like stuff with like Morbius, Madam Web, Catwoman. Catwoman's easily my least favorite of them by far. But there's a bunch of dumpster fires.
Oh yeah.
Man. And I'd like the New Mutants. And I will go out on record saying, everyone, X-Men Origins Wolverine will not be on that list.
I agree with you. It is not great, but it does not touch the top 10 worst superhero movies ever made.
Doesn't even top. I wouldn't even say it would graze the top 30 or 40. Like it is not. Like Hugh Jackman is so much fun in that movie. Like I rewatched it a couple days ago, and it was so much fun. It was just like I was laughing that entire time with how much fun I was having. And then we got that Deadpool thing.
Yeah.
That's where the movie always kind of goes to arm's length. Like it could be a 4-star movie if you just again copy what Deadpool 2 does. Shoot that effing Deadpool. Although it's kind of weird to me how even though he's immortal in Deadpool 2, somehow Deadpool just manages to go in and just keep shooting him, and then it somehow kills him. It's like I thought the dude was immortal.
Yeah,
he can't die. And then I did my review for Logan, and people were so angry at me because I was like, technically, and you know the scene where Logan dies, and how X20, it's X24, right? It's like just no, I mean 24, the clone. I think it's X24. That's the clone of him. The bigger
girl.
No,
the himself, like literally.
Yeah,
himself.
the one that kills himself.
Yeah. No, that's
It's so
X-24.
confusing. How do you say that? No, he kills himself. He kills him. No,
Yeah, no.
his
Yeah.
clone kills himself. It's so weird to say. So that version of him, people got very angry at me because I kind of picked on Logan and said it is so close to being perfect. But my marginal negative is that in the scene where X-23 shoots that version of him after he impales Logan, the adamantium bullet kills him.
Mhm.
Yet somehow in X-Men Origins Wolverine, Logan gets shot like 3 or 4 times with an adamantium bullet, and I think 2 to 3 of those were in the face, and
Yeah,
he
it
doesn't
was
even get.
directly in his head.
Yeah, and none of them in the. It takes the last one to just to erase his brain, and
Mhm.
you're gonna tell me that something that is supposedly stronger and stronger by a lot than the regular Logan was.
Mhm.
You're gonna tell me that one bullet manages to kill him just because they have an R rating? That is the little thing I will always pick on Logan for, probably.
Mhm.
And I'm sorry, I might have just ruined that entire movie for you. Now you're like, okay, well, now it's a 2-star movie. Thanks a lot, Legend.
No, I know. The Logan can never be a 2-star movie. For Logan, anyways, like my thing, the only thing is like it's never had a heavy like where I remember the villain very well, and I've always been like a huge. That's literally the only thing is like for it being iconic. The villains in Logan aren't very iconic. That's literally the only thing I can say about the film in general.
Yeah. Well, guess what? That is completely fair. Oh, well, yeah. Again, I agree with that. I don't hate the villains. They're the villains.
No, they're not bad. I just think the only reason objectively I think The Dark Knight is still over Logan is literally because when I measure all of them up in terms of writing, all of that direction, plot, all of those things, they're basically equal. And then it comes down to which villain is more iconic. And it's because like we have the hero and stuff like that. Obviously, I think Logan is a little bit better than Christian Bale's Batman, but it's Christian Bale's Batman. So like you're not going to say he's bad. So then the only thing that I have to compare it to is the Joker and then X-24 and then whatever the guy's name is that has the little goatee and the slicked back hair and the robot arm. I can't remember what his name
Chris
is.
Boyd. I think it's Chris
Yeah.
Boyd.
Like he's cool.
No. Boyd Holbrook. He was in The Predator.
He was in. Yeah, like he's cool and like he's a very well written character, but neither of them hold a candle to the Heath Ledger Joker. So that's the only where I'm just like number one always going to be the Dark Knight. Number two is always going to be a Logan. That's just how I sit with my objective superhero movie list.
That's fair. I prefer Logan because I will die on the hill that The Dark Knight just has a few too many plot holes for me that always keep the film a tiny bit back, and it's a little overrated, just a little.
Agreed.
Again, guys, I still like the movie. My name is Ledger. I like the movie, but again, the plot holes have always been a little. I ignored them for a while, but the first time I saw it, I was like, wait a second. Do you want me to tell you them, or do you just want to go your entire life without hearing them?
No, I'll hear them. I probably heard them. I try to just, it is what it is because people are going to pick at films as much as they want. So,
yeah, sorry.
No.
One of them is that I've never been as keen on how coincidental, like, when Joker's escaping. I've never been as fond, even from the first time I saw, which I nearly ruined the film for my dad because I kept picking at certain stuff, which showed me how much of a good reviewer I was back when I first saw it. It's like, I was pretty decent at that, and I nearly ruined the film for him by doing it. But when he first escapes, it's like he relies so much on whether he's able to do this. Like, he has to make sure that everything's planned right. He has to make sure that all the cops are in this area and that they can't just do a normal cops to do and be like, hey, there's these people at 250 52nd Street. Can you go and rescue them before they blow themselves up? It's like you could easily do that. But they have to make sure that happens. Joker has to make sure that he manages to escape in time. He has to make sure that the guard that is guarding him, he manages to overpower. He has to make sure that he's not outsmarted and then just shot point blank when he brings him out. There's all these little coincidences. Like, he has to make sure that Harvey is the only one. Like, what if Batman knew it was knew it was a trick, because the first time I saw it, I was like, this is a trick. I knew that immediately. It's like that's like villain scenario 101, that he switched him up. It's like, okay, so now he's going after Harvey instead of Rachel. It's like, that is so cliche. So there's just a lot of that. And then the other one is the one that people get the most angry at me for, because people love this. Wait, I think you're just. Oh yeah, sorry guys. Drew's Wi-Fi went out. Drew's Wi-Fi got out. Let me quickly reply to him. I'm letting him know now. Okay, there. I just sent it to him. His Wi-Fi went out, so it kicked him, sadly. He should be back soon. Okay, and sorry about that one. That one may be a little too detailed. You understand that one, right?
The first one that you were talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's the one that I've heard. And for me, the reason that I don't look at that one too much is because, one, it's already clarified that the Joker has an in with the police force, and that he already knows that some of them are corrupt. So I haven't always, because we don't know exactly which ones are all corrupt, because it's never revealed who was all not with Gordon. So there's tons of them that could be, and this is a could, like I get, like what you're saying is completely fair, but just for me, that one is like, okay, yeah, he knows people on the team are very corrupt. And then the other one, in a situation like that, like, I don't think Batman is thinking as clearly as he usually would, because it's about Rachel, and it's shown that Rachel and Alfred are basically the two that he's just going to lose his mind for. So I don't even think he would have thought in that instance, under that pressure, to be like, this is a trick. Like, he just went, like, it was a different switch in your brain. Like, if someone tells you, I have your mom at gunpoint at this place, come right now, like, you're just going to be like, and go. So that's why for me, I'm just like, I can let that one slide, even though there is validity to it. I'm just like, I'm fine with that one.
I'll give you that one. I'm just saying that the morality of him having to make sure that he goes to the right one. So I'll give you that one. I don't blame Batman for just being like, okay, like, he just immediately has to go. I don't blame him for that. I just blame it for how dumb the morality of it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one's the one that I have probably the most issues with, because it's such a simple one. And that's the ending to The Dark Knight, which a lot of people say is the greatest ending of all time, with like that monologue by Gordon as it's happening. And he says, I killed those criminals.
Mm-hmm.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. And that entire scene, I got almost angry when I watched it the first time, because I'm like, you kidding me? You can't just tell them that the Joker killed him. Like, Batman just went out of his way to not only beat up the police and save their lives, because he knew that the villains, not really villains, because he knew that the hostages had the clown stuff on. So he just managed to save the clown, the hostages, and the police without killing a single one of them, and went out of his way to do that. Then went to go beat up Joker and managed to throw him off of a building, and then make sure that he still lives. And then after capturing him all that, and while he's still being a good person, it's like he then goes off and he's like, I killed those men. It's like, you can't, the Joker killed them. The Joker, it's like, you think people are going to be so angry? It's like, we need to know this. And even then, it's like, the Joker killed him. And then people would just be like, okay, that makes sense. The Joker, the one that just killed, I believe the death count that he kills in that movie is like 80. He kills like around 80 people in that movie. It's like, you can't blame it on him. And plus, you know that the person that Harvey kills, that Harvey knocks out, the one that he says
lives. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
I still call utter just rubbish on the fact is like, she's not just gonna go after she just wakes up and it's just gonna be like, Batman didn't kill those people. That was Harvey Dent, especially as she figures out that he's dead. So it's like, well, he can't hurt her now, so just tell the truth. It's like, you could easily just fix this with one conversation. It wasn't Batman. She can tell the truth. It's like, you ever wonder why she's on The Dark Knight Rises? Because they had to fix that lazy plot point, because they had to take her out of the movie.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah,
I have no clue why it bugs me so much, but it does.
That one is completely fair. I don't really, other than for the sake of, I personally find the ending epic, and I think it was just, they say it was Batman just to be epic, because it is epic, like him taking the blame for that is. But with your plot hole, where there's no, I can't be like, okay, I think, like, there is no argument for what you just said. It's kind of like, for me, that's sometimes when I love Endgame, but Endgame has a few too many little plot.
Contrivances on the time travel elements.
Yeah, yeah. There's so many of those, but even then, the two things that bug me the most about it is, one, the entire thing just happens because a rat steps on the remote control of Scott Lang's van that is supposed to be super difficult technology to do, and brings him back, and that's literally what they figure because Scott Lang comes back. I'm like, you couldn't have had any of the Avengers just be like, hey, I wonder where Scott was. Didn't he have some van? Or you couldn't have had one of his friends survive the snap to go find him. Like, that, having a rat do it, it's like, that was just that's so lazy to me. Like, you can do better. You can do better than that. And then the second one for me, and this is just because I'm really big on the mythical objects, is it was literally explained so much in Infinity War that on Nidavellir, that the dwarf, the guy that's played by Peter Dinklage, the dwarf that's a giant, you know who I'm talking about? That he, those whole sets of people in the universe, they were the ones that made these powerful weapons that could yield, like, hold all of the Infinity Stones, etc. Thor's hammer, Stormbreaker, all of that stuff. And then in Infinity War, they just put it in the gauntlet and it works instantly. And then also, this is the one that people will get mad at me for, is like, okay, we were showed in Guardians of the Galaxy that when they grabbed the stone and Star-Lord was part of a Celestial, they needed a whole group to even hold one stone for a brief second. That Tony in the Infinity Gauntlet suit with his nanotech, he was able to hold it long enough and not die instantly. And that's where people will be like, stop. And I'm like, look, I love Endgame, and it's for the sake of epicness that I don't say that. But that's just, those are my two things with Endgame where I'm like, no.
I never thought about the first two. The third one I've always known. Like, I've always known, it's like, he didn't just immediately, like, if you hold all 5 of them, I don't care how good that nanotech is, he would have been killed probably. It's like, give it to freaking
Thor,
Captain Marvel. A lot of people like to say that the scene where, like, how Captain Marvel struggles to literally knock over Thanos, and then immediately people are like, well, Iron Man just immediately knocked Thanos over. Like, do you remember that scene where he knocks him over?
No. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
But people are like, he's so strong. It's like, he's a human being at the end of the day. Captain Marvel is one of the most powerful people in the MCU currently. Give it to her. She's played by Brie Larson. She is such an uncharismatic person in those two movies. Give it to her.
Yeah, that's why in Endgame, we're like, even though I think that, I'm like, I really don't care, because it was for the sake of awesomeness. And when it's that awesome at the end, that's where, like, the Dark Knight, like, that plot hole, I had never thought about that, where I'm just like, if it's for the sake of awesomeness and the rest of the movie has been great and Endgame deserved that, those are just my two things. Because people will be like, how could you like Infinity War over Endgame? And I'm like, just because I see those things with Endgame, and I don't necessarily see too much with Infinity War.
I'll go out on a limb and I'll say objectively Infinity War is better. And for a while I preferred Infinity War. A little bit now I prefer Endgame. It's just, I like the more rewatch factor of that one. I don't know why. It's so much more darker, but I don't know what it is. I just love that movie so much. And I've seen both of them a billion times. Like, there's like a point where I watched Endgame every day, sometimes twice a day for like a month. So I know that film almost by heart. And I did like a thing where I would go the Avengers Age of Ultron, Captain America Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. Repeat that every single time. It's this, I also did the same thing with Jurassic World and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Again, kind of got burnt out on Fallen Kingdom, to be honest. Somehow not Jurassic
World. What do you think about those movies? Because obviously we're more in the generation where that's what we grew up on, and a lot of the older generation don't like them at all. What do you think of them?
For a while, Jurassic World was like in my top 3 of all time. Yes, guys, I preferred it to Jurassic Park. Please don't kill me. I don't anymore. Please. So I loved Jurassic World. Still do. Fallen Kingdom, loved for a long time. Rewatched it constantly. The writing has kind of almost destroyed that film. I still have fun with it. It is just dumb fun. Like you said, delicious garbage. It is unbelievably dumb. I saw Dominion in theaters. And so it is so dumb. It is
Mhm.
so terrible on so many levels. But I would be lying if I told you that I didn't have some fun with it. And so
Uh,
I'm a sucker for that franchise. I think
mhm.
Dominion and Fallen Kingdom are my 2 least favorites in that franchise, probably. But again, still like them. Still
Man,
decent.
I really enjoyed Jurassic World. I won't even lie. Like when Jurassic World came out, I was like the prime. I think when Jurassic World came out, 2014, it
20,
came out that
2015.
2015,
Yeah, same
2015.
years like Creed, Fan Force Stick,
Mhm.
Age of Ultron, all that.
And I just literally was at the I mean, I was like in 8th grade, 7th grade. So like when I went and saw that, it was just freaking insane. I was just, and I still subjectively, if I rated that film, I would rate it very, very highly. I really, really like it. And I don't dislike Fallen Kingdom or Dominion either. I have fun with both of them, even though I see,
Agreed.
like you said, a lot of problems with those. You want to go to the chat real quick just because they've been
Oh
asking some
yeah,
questions.
yeah. I've been always. Oh wait. Okay, just making sure it was nothing wrong with your camera. Thank you very much. Are you going to rewatch it? Wait a second. Wait a second. Where is that one? I'll find it. I know
Yeah,
what you're saying.
I
I
know.
don't.
Yeah,
I know. I'll get to that in a sec.
I can speak
Godzilla,
for
have you
this.
seen any of the Invincible animated series? I haven't seen it. I'm just curious. Didn't you talk to me about that last time?
Yeah, you haven't seen it, right?
I have not. I almost
Okay.
saw it once. I never. Isn't it an adult show kind of?
It is a very, very adult show, but I mean, from what I can speak on it, the first 2 seasons, I like in the confines of itself, I would say are up in S tier with the best superhero stuff that's ever been made.
Is it like the boys level just sexual, or is it just because
Oh no,
usually
no,
that's
no. The adult level stuff in it is for language and violence. There is like scenes, but it would be more PG-13 scenes, where they like start kissing and then it like
yeah
cuts screen. They don't have
yeah, and
any.
that just stuff just kind of turns me off. I just am not a fan of that too much.
Yeah,
Again,
but that only happens in season 2 for one episode.
oh,
Season 1 has none of it.
I might check
But
it
I
out.
mean, if you what I'll say here is if you watch the first episode because something just super crazy happens in the first episode. If you like the first episode and wait until the end because there's an after credit scene and that has a lot to do with what's going on. If you watch the first episode and you're like, this is something I want to keep watching, like I'm already hooked, then you're gonna love the entire show. If you watch the first episode and it's like, I'm not sure about that, then don't watch it. Like it's a very much by the first episode you will know if you want to watch it or not.
Where do you stream it? Prime?
Amazon Prime, yeah.
Yeah, you'll need to get Instagram so I can actually tell you about some of the stuff because that makes it so much easier. But I'll if I have time tonight, I might just pause the Wolverine and maybe check out the first episode. How long is it? Just is it like one of those like 40-minute long
50.
things?
It's 50. They're like 50 minutes.
Oh,
Also,
maybe.
what I do have to say about Invincible is the people behind Invincible, there's a lot of faith in the show that it's going to be good because the cast that they have, like J.K. Simmons is Omni-Man, um, and that's like an Oscar. Like, I mean, J.K. Simmons has literally won an Oscar, and he wouldn't sign on to something unless he thought it was that good. And you also
That's
have
great.
like, yeah, you have dang, is it Peter Collins that plays Optimus Prime? Do you know the Optimus Prime
I know
voice?
the actor. I don't. What is his name? Let me take a
But
look. Boxed. He
whoever,
is. Yeah, you can keep talking. I'm just taking a
yeah,
look.
yeah, he's in it, and then Seth Rogen is also in it. So they have high profile people within the first season. So I just think I personally like I am here all for Invincible. Like I think Invincible is one of the best things superheroes have done in a long time. So
Hot take. I've never been the biggest fan of Seth Rogen.
oh
He's
no,
very much. He's very
yeah,
much hit and miss comedy with me. Very.
I completely agree. But his character is not even comedic in the show whatsoever. He's there, and like his voice is just very distinguishable. But then again, like I don't think he would sign on to SpongeBob or Family Guy just
He's
to.
He's SpongeBob. He's in Family Guy.
No, no, I'm
Since
just
when?
saying like he wouldn't sign on to something like that. Like he's signing on to
Ugh.
this show because he has faith that this. I mean, the second season got, not that we've talked about this before, but it got a 100 on Rotten Tomatoes, and the first season got a 98. Not that that's the end all be all, but it's very highly rated.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, it was Peter Cullen. There we go. You're back.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. At where I'm at, the Wi-Fi's been very weird, so that's why I was kind of gone for a little bit.
Oh, you're good. You're good. No need to be sorry. Happens sometimes. Okay. He was apparently at his weakest in Logan.
Wait. I want to ask Drew, have you seen Invincible?
No, I haven't.
Dang. I need you guys just to watch the first episode, and then if you want to keep watching it, then you can know.
Then you must get Instagram so we can actually talk.
Dude, I can't. I'm against it. I'm against it.
Why? You just don't like seeing some of the stuff on there?
Yeah. I've just never had it, even when I was like in high school and all that. It's just something that I've never gotten appealed to. So
Then you might want to just use it for stuff like DMs. I don't really watch the videos. I just like do it because I like talking with people.
yeah. All right, then I'll think about it. I'll think about it.
Thank you, Godzilla. He was apparently at his weakest in Logan. This was referring to a thing where I called I'm trying to say this without getting
X24.
I'm trying to think of how to say this nicely, but without Drew trying to kill me. I kind of dismissed Logan a little bit. I have one little negative by pointing out one little thing X-Men Origins Wolverine things that does that Logan completely neglects. I don't know if you want to know. All I know is there's one thing I called rubbish on. Although you might not be happy if I bring it up. No one that saw my review for the movie was Godzilla, because Batman wanted Harvey Dent to be the role model for the people and not himself.
I think that's fair. I think that
I
is
get that, but it's like
Yeah.
it's so much more. It's you could either have that or you could. I mean, but it's still like you can do that, but it's still just it almost is just using that as an excuse for lazy writing. It's such a powerful moment when that happens with that monologue, but at the same time, it's like that legacy is like you either have Batman who can still be the legacy or something like that, or you can just
Well, I think you're saying that Joker did it. I think that works because you still preserve
agreed.
Harvey's
Like
legacy.
Joker. But I mean, you don't have to go with Harvey. Preserve his legacy. Just say Joker killed Harvey Dent because
Even then
remember
though,
the
like
hospital-
at the end, like
remember
I
the
was talking
hospital
about.
scene?
Oh, sorry, what were you
Because
saying?
remember the hospital scene?
Yeah. No, I know exactly what
There's
you're talking
witnesses of Joker. There's witnesses of Joker walking out of the hospital that had Harvey Dent in it. You couldn't say Harvey Dent.
about. Mhm.
Or again, there's so many other ways you could explain it. Joker killed the people. It's not exclusive to Harvey Dent's legacy. Again,
Yeah, I
I
think
like
it's just
the movie.
yeah, I think it's just for the sake of being epic. I mean, it's like I told you about my in-game problems. Is like, yeah, I have some problems with it, but that doesn't mean I don't think it's epic or enjoy the movie.
Sorry for leaving you in the dust, Drew. We've been Drew. I explained why I'm not as high on the Dark Knight anymore.
No worries.
It's a bit heartbreaking. It's amazing you own an actual water bottle. I have a big cup that she continues to tell me is not a water bottle for some reason. Because I know her in real life, and here's the one that I know that Cade probably paid her money to put.
No, I did not. I just.
Are you going to rewatch Wally? No need to lie. No need to lie. We all know you put that.
I didn't. I did not do
I did.
anything.
I know. And answer to this question, when I get time, I will get onto it. It is a movie that is on my priority rewatch list. I have not seen that movie in almost a decade.
I saw you replied to or liked my review on Wally on Letterboxd.
I like all your
Letterboxd.
reviews.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
So,
yeah, it's like I need to give it another rewatch. And again, objectively, I'll tell you, the movie is not like a 3.5. It's like at least a 4, maybe 4.5. Like it's a gorgeously animated film. But when people are like best of Pixar, I will never be on that boat. It's like I love Toy Story so much.
Yeah. I was gonna say, remind me of what you thought was Pixar's best, just because I think last time we talked a little bit about it because we were talking about Inside Out 2.
objectively their best. It
Yeah,
might
yeah.
be Inside Out. Objectively, just because like I have a little bit of nitpicks with like maybe Toy Story. The animation is slightly not as good. Inside Out, I genuinely don't know if I can find a single negative with that film. It's just it's not as made for me as some of the others. Like Toy Story, Toy Story 2 are pure
With
nostalgia. I hated 3 growing up though.
with
I still like it.
with
No.
Toy Story, about your animation thing though, like with when Toy Story came out and it was like the first 3D rendered animated film, is that even something that you could use for your argument to put it above Inside Out?
It's not really something I'm using to put it above Inside Out. I was just saying what I think personally. I would say objectively, Inside Out is just the most little thing. It's not by much because Toy Story is it is a classic through and through. So Inside Out barely gets that edge. And Finding Nemo is probably my favorite Pixar movie. Again, that most of Pixar was pure nostalgia. Like I grew up on Cars 1 and 2, Finding Nemo, Toy Story 1 and 2.
What about Monsters Inc?
Inside Out and Monsters Inc. And to some extent University. I used to like University more than Monsters Inc. I was weird when I was a kid.
We're all like that, man. We're all like that because you're a kid. Like you're not looking at things from, oh, it has this plot point, it has this. Oh, I see the errors in it now. You're just like, oh, I like that. You know, like that's all.
Yeah, just Lotso scared me as a kid. He messed me up. Like, he is
See, I saw. So like obviously I'm 5 years older than you. So when I saw Toy Story 3, I absolutely loved it. Like I just phenomenal. I still have that. That's definitely my favorite Toy Story from all of them right now. So, Drew, how old are you?
22.
Okay, all right. So you're only 1 year older than me. We're very close in the same age.
You're 21, right?
Yeah.
Also, legally, you can drink.
I can.
Very odd thing to say. Again, I will go out and say this when I am old enough to. I doubt I will. I want to say so.
I don't either. But anyone that does, that's their decision. You know.
Yeah, it's just that's a very dangerous habit.
Drew, what would you pick for your top Pixar film, and then I'll give what I think my favorite is, and then what I think the best is.
Ooh.
My top Pixar film is Toy Story 2.
Yes, Toy Story 2 is underrated. Thank you. Sorry, I had to. It is so underrated, guys. Proceed. Drew?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Toy Story 2 is my favorite, and I guess in regards to what best is, I don't know. I mean, I may actually also go Toy Story 2.
Fair.
I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with any of the first 3 Toy Stories. Honestly, like I think they're pretty much perfect.
Like I mean, I have 3 and 4 kind of just go back and forth which one I like more. 4 has the worst. 4 is very unnecessary. I'll go out and say that. But
I actually haven't seen 4.
You haven't?
I have not. No, it was just in a time of my life like where I can't. When did 4 come out?
2019.
Yeah, so I was a senior in high school. Or I was a junior in high school, and at the time that's when I was still looking at college soccer. So I just committed to where I was going to go play. And so like the time to watch movies, like it was like I was going to see Endgame, I was going to see all the Marvel stuff, and then any other superhero stuff. And then after that, I just like didn't have the time for it. So Toy Story 4 was just one of those that I missed out on. But now that I'm like not doing the soccer and stuff anymore, it's definitely on my watch list, obviously. So
and you have college, right?
That
happens. Yeah. But 4, if people are don't let people tell you when they say that 4 is terrible. It's not. Like
I can't believe Toy Story would do that. I refuse to believe that Toy Story would produce a terrible movie, but I haven't seen it, so I can't give my opinion, but I just refuse to believe that.
It has problems. Like it is very unnecessary. The comedy is not as good. They sideline Buzz quite a bit. But it's very good. I saw it like right when it came out. I didn't see it in theaters, but I saw it like right when it came out. That was actually one of the first times I watched a movie and it was like, yeah, that's one of the best in that franchise. I was like, it's certainly better than 3 because at the time was not a fan of 3. but I by far prefer the first two. I think for a while 2 is my favorite.
Mhm.
I because it was, I think, more rewatchable to me. But again, now I prefer the first by a little bit, but 2 is in I think it's in my top 5 Pixar movies, but I prefer Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. Actually, I'll give my top 3. Finding Nemo number 1, number 2 Toy Story, number 3 Monsters Inc. And Drew, what's your top 3?
Toy Story 2, Monsters Inc., and The Incredibles.
I've ne- The Incredibles. Again, pure nostalgia. I'm not as high as everyone else on it, but
Mhm.
hey,
Since I was gonna give what I think the best, and then what my favorite is. My favorite is The
your top
Incredibles.
3 if you don't mind.
Yeah. My top 3 for me is very, very hard, but number one's gonna go The Incredibles. I absolutely Incredibles guy all the way. Number 2 is either Finding Nemo or Monsters Inc. Those are I grew up when I was a kid, watched those just on repeat over and over again, and now watching them as a young adult, I still love them to this day. I'm gonna put those at a tie, and then at number 3, I'll probably go Toy Story 3. That'll probably be my top 3. But Pixar is very hard because I think the top stuff of Pixar is very, very good. Like,
When they hit hard, but when
mhm,
they miss hard. Like
I'll agree
Elemental,
with that. And
terrible.
then with what
Turning
I think
Red.
the best Pixar movie ever made, I would probably go Toy Story. That's probably what I would just. It's very hard to go against Toy Story, to be honest with you. There's just so many things other than the obvious, like them getting Tim Allen and Tom Hanks at that point in their careers to be the voices of their two main characters is just insane. I can't get over the fact that they got them to do that. Like they were both at the height of their careers and they got them to do a kids movie. It's like I don't know, just to me, and then the timing of when they made this film, like they basically, which is sad because my favorite animated movie of all time is The Iron Giant. It's just sad because like a lot of 2D animation is just non-existent anymore. So that it did kill that, but for very good reason. When Toy Story came out, it was a game changer with the CG that they had in there. So I can't really. There's maybe a couple that people could say, okay, I think this movie is better than Toy Story. I'd be like, okay, or as good as Toy Story, but I don't know if you get better than Toy Story for Pixar.
I need to rewatch Toy Story and then I'll decide whether I think Inside Out might be objectively better. Because again, I like Inside Out. I grew up on
Mhm.
like Toy Story, like all that stuff. I grew up on. I was an animated guy growing up. I don't know why, but I was like all that stuff, pure nostalgia. But there's so much of Pixar that is so good that I have always loved and always
Mhm.
will love. Like no matter what it is, like I will always love the first 2 Toy Stories to death. I will treasure those in my heart. Like Finding Nemo, I adore. And again, I wasn't as high on Finding Dory when I first saw it. I thought it was a bit of a mediocre one. I thought it was a bit of a rehash. Did you
Mhm.
guys see that one?
Yeah, I saw that one in theater. That was I only saw it in theater, so it's been years now since I've seen it. But I've had really no desire to rewatch it because I do think that Finding Dory was a bit of a cash grab. Sadly, that's just my personal.
It was a successful one.
Yeah. So I've been that way kind of with a lot of their sequels. Other than now, Cars 2, phenomenal nostalgia for just absolute just nostalgia. Like Cars 2, this is crazy, but I'm just gonna say it. My favorite Cars movie, not objectively, just subjectively, is Cars 2. I can't get enough of Cars 2, and I have my reasons for it because I think it's personally one of the craziest films that's ever been made. Because how did someone walk into this room of people of just big CEOs and directors and pitch? Okay, so here's my idea for the second Cars. Okay, it's gonna be a spy movie that takes homage from James Bond and instead of Lightning McQueen getting a really cool black color design, we're gonna do Tow Mater as the spy. Like that to me is just crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
Well,
and I love that. Like the fact that someone in cinema had the idea to be that bold is just it needs to happen more. Like we're seeing too many just generic sequels and remakes that like Cars 2 to me, say what you will about it. I think Cars 2 is phenomenal.
hallelujah, I'll drink to that.
Yes, sir. With your water bottle that
Oh yeah.
Child of the One True King is very surprised about.
Yep, and I agree. Cars 2, I prefer the first one, but that is pure nostalgia for me. That was one of my that at one point was my favorite movie growing up. I adored it for so long, and it is so bad. It is so terrible,
Yeah.
but it is so much fun. I cannot tell you how much I. It's just it's just like bathing in a pool of just of like your childhood. It's like I cannot get enough of that movie. Just memories and to some extent like Inside Out 2 and Monsters University are probably the only times where it's like they're kind of and Cars 2 are like the only ones that aren't really rehashes because some of the okay a few of them are rehashes because a lot of them aren't really, but Finding Dory kind of is very much that. Andrew, did you see that one?
Finding Dory?
Yeah.
No, I actually did not see that one.
I'll go out on a limb, and I will die on this limb. I think the score for Finding Dory, personally, is better than Finding Nemo's score. Like there's a certain score, like where in the beginning where she's lost and she's swimming, just keep swimming. There's a scene where she starts doing that and she's alone. When she does that, that score kicks in. It is fantastic. I don't even know if I saw that one in theaters. It's been a long time, but I adore that score. The rest of the movie, meh, it's fine, but it certainly does have problems. I'll give it that. But again, it's Pixar's just a studio that I was so angry with the direction they're going until we got Inside Out 2. And now it's like maybe this could be it. Maybe we're finally on our up streak. Or it could be like the MCU, where they're going so far downhill, they then get themselves an uphill, like they did with Guardians 3. And then they tank it once again with the Marvels. And hopefully
I told you why I thought originally I don't even consider Guardians of the Galaxy 3 a win for the MCU. Right? Yeah. I told you last video about how like I think it's more of a James Gunn sending off project than anything the MCU can really take credit for. So for me, like I'm very concerned about Marvel because I told you last time, like I don't think No Way Home or Guardians of the Galaxy 3, their two biggest hits, are successes for Marvel. So like everything they've released has been either like the best they've done is Shang-Chi. And Shang-Chi is good, but it's not what Marvel used to be. So I'm very much like, I'm very, very pessimistic about, the future. But like, this is why Deadpool and Wolverine for me has to do some heavy saving, or it's just not going to be in a good place.
I've never been as high on Shang-Chi. I never really liked that one at all. And it's like that one is one of the better ones that we've gotten from that universe. It is still not even close to.
Sorry, I accidentally turned my camera on. I was just leaving the Logan profile picture.
Oh, you're good. You're good. You're good. And we thank you for keeping that Logan profile picture. It's awesome. We all love Logan so much. Near and dear to my heart. And I need to rewatch that one. It's up next. And I completely forgot until I was rewatching this for the most part today before I did this Q&A with the Wolverine. I forgot how good that score is. Do you guys remember the score that they have for it?
Are you talking about the Wolverine or are you talking about
Wolverine.
Origins?
The Wolverine.
I do not remember the score, no.
There's a little bit of like this neo-Western, like kind of little subtle thing. Just rewatch the movie because it's awesome. And it has Hugh Jackman. Yes, he is jacked. So he is Hugh Jackman.
He very much is. So, yeah.
Yeah. And have either of you seen the extended unrated cut of it?
No, I have not.
I actually saw, I think, like 1 or 2 clips from the extended version. One version.
There's more than one. I thought it was only the R-rated ninja fight. There's more?
Right. Like, I think with the ninja fight, like, there was a scene in it that was actually in one of the trailers, I believe, where he's, like, on top of some kind of a construction vehicle. He pulls his claws out, strikes it, and the vehicle, like, explodes. And then, the scene where he's interrogating that guy of where that Mariko girl is?
Mariko. Oh, yeah, that. Where he pushes him off, and she's like, how did you know that was there? And he's like, I didn't.
Yeah.
Because he lands in the pool.
Yeah, like that scene. There was an extended version where
in the PG-13 cut, he says, "If I don't like what you say, you're going through that window." But of course, in the R-rated cut, he says, "If I don't like what you say, you're going through that F-bomb window."
Yeah.
It's always hilarious how he manages to, because Logan always drops the F-bomb in the PG-13 ones. Like I rewatched First Class today. He does it there. He did it in the Wolverine. He does it in the Wolverine. Even in the theatrical cut, he tells someone to go F themselves. Does he do it any more than that? Doesn't he do it in some of the others? Did he? He might have, to be honest. But I adore that.
He definitely does in Logan, that's for sure.
Really? I didn't see that.
In Logan?
I didn't notice him swearing at all. Yeah.
Okay, dude. I got, dude. For a second, I was like, I haven't been around you long enough, and then I realized I was like, oh wait.
Yeah, it's like, wait a second. There's no way. And I'm such a sucker for that universe. Like, it was surprising. Like, I really liked Deadpool 2 when I first saw it, but it was a bit more short on my X-Men ranking. It went to like number. We got two Drews here. Which one's which?
Let's go double Drew.
Oh, I'm also signed in. Hang on. I'm also signed in through my laptop. When I got back, I was on my phone.
Got it. So there, I'll put you. Oh, there we go. There, is that a good? Okay, yeah, there. So you like Deadpool 2, don't you, Cade?
Yeah. No, there's very few of the X-Men movies that I would say that I'm not a huge fan of.
The only one I don't like is the New Mutants. Other than that, I enjoy the rest. Like, again, I like Last Stand. I enjoy for Hugh Jackman and the Ian McShane and what's his name? Professor X.
Patrick Stewart.
Oh, how did I not know that? Yeah, Patrick Stewart. Those three I enjoy for their performances. Doppelganger. Isn't that one of the mutants?
No, Doppelganger's a Spider-Man villain, I think.
Oh.
He was just talking about Drew having the double profile picture.
Oh. Yeah, and so I enjoy Last Stand for that. I'm trying to think. My ranking, I think after that it'll be my next least favorite is Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
That Dark Phoenix plotline really seems to throw these movies under the bus for me. But Dark Phoenix I enjoy because of what is it? I enjoy it because of the performance of Ty Sheridan as Cyclops, and same thing with Sophie Turner. And I enjoyed the performances of pretty much everyone. Uplift, that one. Same thing with Apocalypse. I enjoy Ty Sheridan so much with his character of like this 80s stuff, and like I love that conversation where they're having like this stuff about like the original trilogy and like which one's the best. It's like, no, it's Empire for this reason. No, it's A New Hope for this reason. No, it's Return of the Jedi. Like, I know you have your problems. It's like, I love that scene. It's like, I love the 80s. And like, I love I love the kind of brewing romance that they start between Cyclops and Jean Grey, which they completely destroy with that original trilogy.
Yeah, no.
I hated Cyclops' treatment in there, especially in the last.
It's awful, but that's really well known that they
didn't care about him, really.
Yeah, dang, it's the guy from The Notebook that have either of you seen The Notebook?
I have not. I have wanted to, based on the amount of ladies that were putting that one in there. Although, no offense, ladies. I don't know if I could trust you, considering Twilight managed to get into your lists. We don't talk about Twilight. I literally was talking to a coworker on how terrible that movie was, and do you know what he did when I brought up that movie? He went preach, and then high five me because he knows how terrible that movie was. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so the X-Men universe, so those are pretty much all the ones I would really and Origins. Yeah, that one Hugh Jackman. And
that's the all I need really, if Hugh Jackman was not in that movie, it probably would be the worst superhero movie ever made. It could
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far. Not with Catwoman. You haven't seen Catwoman, have you?
I have seen Catwoman. Yeah, I can't. Oh. Yeah, I don't think I can argue with what you. Yeah,
with Liev Schreiber. Not again. If you just remove Hugh Jackman, but leave Schreiber still in there, it at least has a small advantage over it. But if you remove Hugh Jackman, it drops at least 2 stars. actually probably more than 2 stars.
For me, I don't.
It
Did you
is.
see my list the other day that on Letterbox where I did the X-Men films like subjectively, what I
Sub-
ranked and what I had at the bottom?
You did them subjectively?
Yeah.
Let me check that out right now.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were going to say anything about which one that I had at the very bottom, and I had a very, very much reason for why subjectively I just can't stand it. So I didn't know.
Apocalypse.
Yeah,
Apocalypse. I'm guessing.
yeah, it was Apocalypse, and I just have.
I get some of the criticism for it. I mean, I get why people would be disappointed because it should have been like Endgame level great.
Yeah, that
I can't. I literally cannot put that below the New Mutants. I would rather shoot myself in the foot than stab myself in the foot, then cut off my foot, and then throw that off of a cliff, and then burn that cliff, and do anything but rewatch the New Mutants. I can't stand that movie. Like,
yeah,
I
no,
hate it.
that's what I put in the New Mutants is that Apocalypse is definitely more rewatchable. I just can't tell you how much in 2016 when I went to see that movie, how excited I was for it in high school or in middle school, whenever middle school, and just how much I loved Apocalypse and his character and just how cool he was in the 97 TV show. And then when I went to see it, how lame it was and how utterly broken I was and how much nothingness I felt, even though the rest, like I put in there, the cast is phenomenal. The Wolverine cameo is awesome.
Oh yeah.
The Quicksilver
pretty
scene, once again, that was really, really cool. But dude, I just can't get over like what they did to Apocalypse. Like it's like the fart cloud, Galactus. And it's like, yeah, he's not fart cloud level, but he's also not like I just don't I just can't. And Apocalypse is just one of my favorite supervillains of all time, and I was just really expecting something awesome, and we got nothing. So subjectively for me, I just can't like just what it did, what the amount of letdown that I received in that film. I just can't put it past because at least for the New Mutants, for me, I respect that they were trying to go and do something different in the superhero subgenre by doing horror. It was just absolutely terrible and unrewatchable, but I will give it that it tried to do something different that other superhero movies didn't. And that's the only thing I can give it.
I mean, I would still say that even then Blade did something like blending horror, and it did it significantly better than the New Mutants did. Like, again, the reason I like Apocalypse much more than the New Mutants is I don't care about the characters in the New Mutants. I actually hate just about every single one and actively wanted them to die. Every single one. Apocalypse, I love Cyclops. And that is one of the reasons why he is one of my favorite characters in that universe. I love those characters so much. And then the New Mutants go away. Never.
Can't disagree with you. Cannot.
Oh,
Drew,
yeah.
what is your least favorite Foxverse film?
If I'm being honest, I mean, I know a lot of people are gonna say Origins Wolverine still to this day, but I'd probably have to say either Dark Phoenix or New Mutants, one of those two.
Oh, come
one
on!
of those
Why does
two.
Dark Phoenix keep getting this treatment?
Okay,
'Cause
I don't
it's
hate
just
it.
so
I'll say this,
mid.
I don't hate it like a lot of people do, but it's kind of like one of those movies that I never went back to.
Yeah, no, I haven't went back to it since I saw it in theater because I just have no reason that I really want to go watch it again.
Oh, I need to rewatch it. I mean, I remember I didn't hate it when I first saw it. I thought it was pretty decent. Again, the love story between Cyclops and Jean Grey. Again, that's mostly what I loved about it. Like, I'll send it to you, Drew, because I have your Instagram. Get it? Then I can send it to you. It's a clip of it's not really. It's there's a song called "Love You in the Dark," and it basically goes through Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix and the relationship between them. It makes both movies so much better. It will make you probably change this list. And it will make you put the New Mutants below by far. Get rid of those feelings. I can't stand the New Mutants, and I never will. Like, yeah, I mean, for me, rewatch value always plays significantly into my grading system for when I rank movies because I'm very much someone that likes to rewatch movies.
Mhm.
There's exceptions like Logan is really hard to watch, but again, I love that movie so much.
Like,
And like,
have you ever seen the Schindler's List?
I have not. I need to see that one. I know
Yeah,
that
that-
one's gonna get very
that-
bad treatment based on that.
Yeah, that's like a you see that once and you don't really want to watch it again.
It's like it's like, just like the Holocaust is a
Yeah.
terrible subject for me. I hate that subject. It's just so hard to think about. Like
Hmm.
we are like humans are truly monsters in what we do. And just that like Schindler's List is one of those examples of movies that just seek to show us what we are.
Yeah.
And Godzilla, have you guys seen a movie called The 13th Floor? Have
I
you?
have not. I have
Nope.
not.
I have never
No.
even heard of it. Although it sounds like something from The Shining. I'm joking. It just sounds. I just because of like hotel. It's dumb. Godzilla, what are your guys' top 10 best director's cuts for movies? The only ones I can think of that I know of director's cuts I really like are Terminator 2, Aliens, and Zack Snyder's Justice League, which I don't even know if we can call that a director's cut because how the heck? How the heck was that? Can you even call that the thing that we got in 2017 actual movie? That was a hack job through and through. Like that might be in like that might be my top 10 worst. I need to take a look at my superhero movies rank list.
I mean,
You guys
my-
answer that one while I'm looking.
I don't have a top 10. All the ones you said would be on mine as well. I would also have the BVS version of Snyder's director's cut. It fills in some of the plot holes. It does not fix that movie whatsoever, but it does make it a little bit better. I already talked to you, Ledger, last time about how I do still enjoy BVS, even with all the flawed portrayals of some of its characters. But my favorite of all time definitely has to be Ridley Scott's final cut of Blade Runner 2049, where they take out the talking.
There's a you mean the first Blade Runner? I was like 2049 has a
Oh yeah, the first Blade Runner, the first Blade. Yeah, there's
the
no.
final cut.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
is it the final cut or is it the director? How many cuts of Blade Runner are there? I've been
There's
told
like-
it's more than just the final cut.
There's literally like 4. But the final cut is the one that includes the unicorn at the end of the film, and it also doesn't have the voiceover of Harrison Ford. Because I think the voiceover is just really weird.
I need to just watch the. How do you get access to most of them? Because I can't find them.
Dude, usually I just have to like rent them.
Oh,
Because I used to, so like I'm actually not in my parents sold their house, so I'm not in like I live with my grandparents and stuff. So like all my movies, like physical media, is in like a mini storage unit. So I used to do that all the time, but now I just don't do it as much anymore. But I'm pretty sure both the Blade Runners are on HBO Max.
yeah, I'm getting the 4K of 2049. I was supposed to order today, but my grandmother passed away, so I'm about to be going to Texas, so I can't. It won't be here by that time, but I'm getting the 4K for that one because
yeah, sorry to hear that, man.
Thanks. Always happy to get some. Always happy to have these talks, and always happy for people to be this friendly.
Yeah,
Have
no.
you guys seen a movie called Dark City?
That's the one that has Idris Elba in it, right? And it came out. It's about a comic book. I didn't see it, but I think it came out. It did really poorly. And
Wait, isn't that the Dark Tower?
oh yeah, you're right.
Wait, Drew, didn't you see that?
Wait, what?
No,
I
no,
think
no,
I
Tower
think I remember you covering
Dark City has Jennifer Connelly in it.
Jennifer Con. Oh, the chick from Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
The Dark Tower. Like if you're talking Idris Elba, there was a movie called The Dark Tower, which had
Yeah.
Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey in it.
Yeah, no, that's the Dark
Ooh.
Tower. I got it confused, but the Dark City has Jennifer Connelly in it, but I haven't seen either.
A lot of people will be angry, but the only movie I know for certain I've seen that has Matthew McConaughey is Interstellar. That's
Really?
the only one I've seen.
Drew, have
I'm
you
not-
ever seen Dazed and Confused?
No, I haven't, but I would like to see it because I hear it's a classic.
Yeah, it's pretty dang good. It's interesting for sure. He's definitely a weirdo in that movie, but it's pretty
Weirdo.
funny.
Oh.
Not like Riddler weirdo in the Batman. More like he's like a high school
Weirdo
weirdo.
or like psychopath.
Yeah.
Wait, did you guys see the Batman in theaters?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Had to.
Lucky. I didn't see it, sadly, in
Yeah.
theaters. I gave it a rewatch because the first time I saw it, I really liked it. Was never as high on it. It went from like in like the 30s in like my favorite superhero movies to like number 3, number 3 or 2. Like it
Yeah,
jumped.
it's right at my 10th spot. I'm
I
big on the
love
Batman.
it. It's so good. Like Godzilla, X-Men, Dark Phoenix is enjoyable. Agreed. A lot of people like to pick on the ending, saying it's a they immediately think it's a reshot ending. It's not.
Drew, did you have a top 10s director's cut? Because we kind of cut you off. I didn't know if you had any.
Thank you.
Well, I know the
forgot.
Snyder. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was getting mad at myself because I forgot about that. Go ahead.
It's okay. I know the Snyder cut comes to mind. I know one that some people, not everyone, is going to throw in is the director's cut of Ben Affleck's Daredevil. And in terms of other ones, well, I know some comedy movies tend to have what's called unrated cuts.
Mhm.
Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber, and I know I brought this movie up to the point of death at this point, but I know The Hangover had an unrated cut.
It did? Oh yeah.
Sorry, I say to the point of death is because I know I brought that movie up so many times.
I have yet to see that movie because I doubt I would really like it. I'm not a fan of like drunk type humor, just stupid humor. That's why I have a very limited bar. For that's why
fair enough.
I'm just not a dumb humor guy. And isn't that kind of what the Hangover movies are about?
It's kind of like that. Like it does have a unique premise though, because if it's okay to say really quick, the plot's like these guys go to Vegas for a bachelor party. They have a fun night, but then when they wake up the morning, the groom's missing, and the rest, pretty much the other 3 have to like find him, and they get into some crazy scenarios. What?
Don't they not know who they are because they're drunk or something?
Well, they don't. It's not that they don't remember who they are. They don't remember what happened last night, the night before.
Oh, it's an interesting premise, but a lot of people might, if I don't like it, they're probably going to use the excuse. Well, Ledger, you have to have actually had a hangover to actually understand it. No.
Oh God,
that'll be very. I'm not going to get that. I refuse to take that lecture.
Wait. Does that mean that I need to have an Inception to understand Inception?
Obviously.
Oh, okay. I guess, yeah. All right.
Okay, guys. We need to get Leonardo DiCaprio's agent on the phone.
For real. I'm trying to. Oh, also, Drew, the other day when I was looking at your top 10 favorite movies of all time, I think all 3 of us have in our top 10 favorite movies of all time Terminator 2 Judgment Day. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Absolutely goated movie.
Yes.
I need to give it a rewatch, but it's currently close. It's close. Isn't there one movie we have in our top? No, you don't have Logan.
No, we
had all 3 of us share movies that come into our top 10. Drew and I both share Logan in the top 10. You 2 share T2. What else?
I thought, did you not have T2 in yours, Ledger?
I did at first. I need to update that. It's been a long time.
Okay, I was just talking about from the one that I saw. I know. I know both me and you, Ledger, too. We had Blade Runner 2049 and No Country as well.
Yeah, I'll give you guys my top 10 real quick. 10, The Prestige. 9, John Carpenter's The Thing. 8, Jaws. 7, The Two Towers. 6, The Fellowship of the Ring. 5, Prisoners. 4, Logan. 3, Return of the King. 2, No Country for Old Men. 1, Die Hard.
Yeah.
Nice list.
Thanks. And you guys have seen all the movies in there, right?
I'm trying to think.
No Country for Old Men, yes. Oh, sorry.
You haven't or haven't? You have or
I
haven't?
have.
You have.
You've seen all the movies in here, Drew, right? Prisoners?
Sorry. Prisoners, yes. Right? Die Hard, yes.
I've seen all of them.
Oh yeah, all of them are phenomenal. But Two Towers is your favorite Lord of the Rings, right, Cade?
Yes, it is. Yeah, that one was very, very close. The 2 that I have sitting right outside my top 10 are The Thing and The Two Towers. Those are the 2 that I have literally right outside my top 10.
Yeah, T2's right now sitting at number 14. It's being crowded by a Braveheart, Gladiator, and First Blood. Those are the ones trying to get in the way. But again, on rewatch, most likely it could make that push. I just need to give it a rewatch first. But
Mhm.
and none of you have seen Braveheart, right?
No.
No.
I'm going to cry like a little baby, like I was in the theater when I did Return of the King. Watch it. It is so dang
Oh,
good. Like the ending.
It's definitely on my the next one that I have though is whenever I get out of my grandparents' house just because they don't like ours, The Shawshank with my dad. I've yet to see Shawshank, so I 100%.
Luckily, my buddy Film Kid took care of Drew with that one. Because for a while Drew hadn't seen the Shawshank Redemption. He had a double feature where he did a Iron Will, which I might need to do another watch along with you, Kate, on that one because it is so freaking good. Like that's one of isn't that still one of your favorites of all time?
Iron Will.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, like it jumped to his favorite list. Like it is still in mine. Like I adore that movie. Like you haven't heard of it, have you?
No, I actually haven't.
It's a movie about a dog sledding. It is so good. Like it is it's one of those movies that just makes you feel good. It is remarkable, and it's just a perfect movie. I love it. I haven't seen The 13th Floor, but from what I do know about it, it is about the world being a simulation, kind of like The Matrix. Dark City is the movie that inspired The Matrix. Ooh, inspired The Matrix, eh? We got Jason in the house saying, "Hey, Ledger. Hey, man, what's up? Hope you're doing good on this fine Sunday evening." Why did it take me so long?
Perfect.
Yeah, and you guys have seen you guys have both seen Gladiator, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
You guys have seen Gladiator, but you haven't seen Braveheart. Get out. Like how? I mean, they're like the twin movies. They're like they stand for the exact same thing: honor, bravery, loyalty, duty, sacrifice, all of that important stuff. And both are some of the greatest directed movies of all time, and have some of the greatest endings of all time. Like the ending to Braveheart will probably make both of you cry. Like just
I've never cried in a movie before. I don't know if I will.
Just rewatch Return of the King. Wait, how long has it been since you've seen Return of the King?
Return of the King? Dang, probably senior year of high school, I think was the last time that I watched it. So 3 years ago.
Yeah, it took me a while to actually like Arthur the King, which is a movie that came out this year. I actually watched that movie, and I literally watched it at like 11 o'clock at night, and I put in my review, guys, I just found out I'm not a robot. I actually have emotion because they play around with the fact that the dog is probably dying. And it's like, no, they wouldn't because it comes so close and it's so heartbreaking. Like, I was crying so much in that movie. And I was like, guys, I'm actually human. I'm not like actually a Terminator that like from Dark Fate where I actually know how I no longer have a mission. I actually am human. And then Return of the King, just the entire like 40 minutes in that theater, just crying that entire time with all that stuff.
Yeah, the closest that I've ever gotten to was during Good Will Hunting and Warrior. Those were probably the two closest that I've ever gotten to crying. And
what about you, Drew?
Like a movie that got me very close to crying.
Either way, it either made you or got you close.
That's a great question. So movies that definitely got me there. Well, I know Logan is of course an obvious choice. Terminator 2 was one. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna say something nuts, unless you guys actually agree with this choice. The ending scene to Furious 7, where they do like the Paul Walker, and you get like "See You Again."
Dude, Ledger, were you laughing at him for that?
No, like I get emotional every time I think of that scene.
Like,
I can never laugh at that ending. That ending is beautiful. That might be one of my. That's like in my top, maybe 5 endings of all time. I adore that ending.
Yeah, like because like like it was such a beautiful tribute because obviously Paul Walker.
Although I love Kate's reaction
gone
to that
way too soon.
Oh. Dude, Ledger, I thought you were laughing just because it was like
I loved your reaction to that where you were like, did he seriously just start laughing at that? I love that reaction. Thank you.
I was just like,
no, I would never laugh at that. I would never laugh at Drew, but unless he's telling a joke. But you guys know what I mean. I adore
But
that.
that's
ending.
definitely one choice. The ending for Furious 7, even though it's in a franchise that's obviously,
Dumb.
supposed to be like mindless popcorn entertainment.
Mhm.
But the ending for that one was like, oh my God, this is actually very emotional.
Like I might actually have cried at that one. It makes me come close. Like it is so. Oh, there's one movie I did cry at the ending of.
What?
Catwoman, because I realized that movie was finally over. I realized my
You're
pages
crying the
had
entire movie. Actually, you stopped crying when it ended. That was the only movie you've cried the entire time through, and then you stopped when it
Yes.
finished.
I was crying that entire time, and then I realized, and then I started crying more because I realized my pain and suffering is finally over, and now I can finally start punching everything in my room because I realized I just wasted an hour and 40 minutes of my life for nothing, just to watch Halle Berry. I have no idea. I don't know what I watched with that movie. What the heck? Ugh, man, it is. And you said you've seen Catwoman?
Oh yeah, I've seen Catwoman. I've watched pretty much. There's very few superhero films I have not seen. I've seen
Have you
pretty
seen
much.
Jonah Hex?
That's no. I was gonna say, is that Constantine? Because that has what Keanu Reeves in it, which I've seen. Constantine. I have not seen Jonah Hex. That's one of the ones I haven't.
Oh, it's known as one of the worst of all
Yeah.
time. Yeah, I've seen a good portion of them. I have a superhero movies ranked on Letterboxd,
Mhm.
and right now it's sitting at around over 100. Like it's a lot. And
Dude, I
I
need
checked just so anyone was saying that Hack Job, the 2017 cut barely grazed out of that top 10 worst. It's like number 12. Batman
Yeah.
and Robin and that movie were so close. But Thor
Dude,
Love and Thunder Eternals decided to skate it out.
Batman and Robin is
It is epically bad. Like it's like my boss, who always is so much fun to talk to at my job. He was like, and then he calls me by my name. He's like, what is your favorite movie and why is it Batman and Robin? And I'm like, how did you know about my famous hatred of that movie? And and he was like, I just know that it's a very hated movie. And he said that he saw it when he was a kid and he thought that it was fun when it was a kid because let's be honest, I think kids will find that fun. They're seeing all that stuff. And I immediately I was about to say, like, because of all the great stuff and like the great writing and all that great costume design with the nipples on the bat suit and that atomically correct body stuff on there on the suits that looks absolutely fantastic. I think we can all agree on that, right?
I'll agree with you on that. Yeah, for sure. Just like how Arnie's Mr. Freeze is probably the best comic book villain ever.
Now we just got to wait for the 200 people that will eventually see this to start clicking that dislike button and start reporting the video for that.
Perfect.
Oh, man,
if
we're
you,
gonna
want more
get
back,
trouble.
come to my channel. Arnie's Mr. Freeze is the best supervillain in any superhero movie ever.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that one. I don't hate Arnie. I used to hate him. I used to hate his guts in that movie. I have warmed up so much to Arnie in that movie. Uma Thurman, woof, she is terrible.
Dude,
And my
what
dad
about-
says that Uma Thurman is the best part of that movie. She treats it like she is in like The Godfather. She is making performance like she's in that, and she is not. Arnold's like, I know what movie I'm in. This is terrible, so
Yeah.
let's have a blast. It's like, and sorry I cut you off. Go ahead.
No. It definitely it worked for Arnie. I mean, obviously the character portrayal of Mr. Freeze is so far from what he actually is in the comics, but I mean, if you take it in the context of Arnie's playing him, he's fantastic. If you take it in the context of what the character is actually supposed to be, he's absolute garbage. So it's very fun to see the two polar opposites. But the one thing I will never ever forgive that film for is their Bane portrayal is just absolutely. Bane's my favorite supervillain of all time. So I absolute hate for that Bane. Just like you turn him into just a big dumb brute, and that just takes away everything that makes Bane interesting. So
I was shocked when I saw that scene where he is literally being a cab driver and like has an actual hat on and is driving around Poison Ivy. I was like, seriously? Bane is the guy that in The Dark Knight Rises literally snaps a guy's neck and holds the record in that trilogy for the villain with the most kills. This guy is driving a limo with a weird hat on for essentially just this chick in a suit. This is weird. and I'm sure Drew. Now, what is your defense for this awesome Best Picture winner, Batman and Robin?
My defense is kind of like what Cade said, where when it comes to like it is laughably bad, and like with Mr. Freeze, like as a goofy over the top version, like yes, he is hilarious, and Arnold is having so much fun in the role. But of course, if you judge him as a portrayal that's trying to be faithful and accurate to the character, it's like terrible. Uma Thurman is also kind of like so bad that it's like hilarious with her lines. But
That's the one thing I'll give it. I'll give that to the movie. I can watch it and just laugh at how terrible the movie is. The acting, the ideas especially, but Uma Thurman is hilarious to watch because of how terrible she is. I'll give it that. Other than that, nothing. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No worries. Because out of the villains, like Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze were hilariously bad. Although I will say this, and I agree with you, Cade. Bane, on the other hand, I would say that was not laughably bad. That was just straight up unforgivable.
Yeah.
Like, I may have an unpopular opinion. I would say that's like even more unforgivable than what X-Men Origins Wolverine did to Deadpool.
It's like X-Men Origins Wolverine, what they did to Deadpool was one thing. Like what they did to Bane, that's another thing. Like at least how do I say this? At least this is gonna sound stupid. At least his head looks the same. At least he doesn't have hair. That's the only thing.
Here's
nothing that Bane shares between the Bane we get in Batman and Robin and literal Bane, besides their suits. And even then, the suit looks terrible.
Here's what I would say about that, because I'll probably have to go after this.
Yeah.
Is I don't know if I disagree with you at all, because at least for the Deadpool thing, someone in there thought they had a really good idea by trying to subvert people's expectations. And I can always get behind someone trying to have a genuine idea, even though that idea was terrible. Whoever did Bane and Batman and Robin saw a comic book cover of him lifting Batman above his head, about to do the famous break the back. And they're like, oh, Bane, he's just the really strong brute of the Batman characters. So in this movie, he'll just be the really strong brute. And that's what like just infuriates me, is because I don't think the people necessarily that made that choice with Deadpool were like, oh, Deadpool's like this in the comics. They definitely didn't think that. They were just like, let's subvert the audience, which was a terrible decision, but at least it was a genuine idea. Where with Bane, it was just like they had the complete wrong idea with him and just absolutely wasted his character. So I'll jump on your train there.
Like, I mean, it's the equivalent of like something like I'm trying to like the rest of the movie of Batman and Robin is just like something that it's equivalent to like, what is something that like you don't like but you can still like have fun with? Does anyone know an example real quick?
Dude, I mean, this movie is one of those that I would say I have a couple. Have you guys ever seen this? Is really, really a terrible movie, but it's hilarious. It's called Killer Bean.
I have not. Killer Bean. That film was like a 5-star rating on Letterboxd somehow.
Yeah. It's because it's a meme that like everybody in Rotten Tomatoes just keeps giving it like a 100, and they keep giving it 5 stars because it's so good. It's just phenomenal. But if you watched it, you would understand why. It's that movie. Yes, dude, it is so bad, but it's hilarious. Like it makes it so good. And it's funny because some of the people that worked on it, they actually worked on The Matrix. Like they're obviously just trying to make it so bad, and it works. So
it's Batman and Robin is like for the most part, it's like the equivalent of like basically just getting punched in the face, but you're like, it's almost like it's like when you're doing it with your friends and like you're still having fun with that. Until you get to Bane. Bane is the equivalent of you getting kicked in the nuts and then getting a hammer thrown into there. It's that. Like, you can't laugh at that. I don't care how strong you are. I don't care how many times you had that happen to you. You can't laugh at that. That is what Bane does. It is so offensive. Yeah. It is so remarkably terrible. Like, that is easily the worst betrayal of a comic book villain. The Catwoman villain might be worse, actually.
It is.
Okay.
I'll second guess yourself. It is worse.
Catwoman has the worst villain. no doubt. The villain in Catwoman is terrible, but the villain in Catwoman doesn't offend me as much because the woman in the Catwoman is just like, okay, just done. This is dumb. But it's like you messed up Bane, the guy that broke the bat.
Mm.
But anyway, guys, we better end the stream. So because I'm pretty sure we're all getting tired, and I have to be at Rowan tomorrow for one thing. So thank you both. Thank you to both of these gentlemen for being here. Sorry we got Drew out of here. That is not on him at all. That is on this internet. You guys can blame his internet. So thank you very much, Drew, for being here.
You're welcome.
And again, thank you to Cade for being here. Always fun. Hopefully we'll have him back on here soon because it seems like the chat always seems to have fun with us just talking and just always having fun. Like this is definitely an ideal group to maybe bring back because it was very fun. So hope you guys had a fun time. Anything you guys want to say, promote, anything of that?
Thank you, Ledger, once again for having me on. Like I said in the private chat, I would love to free up more time, sometime probably earlier if I can figure out my work and school schedule to get more time because I do have a lot of fun with these conversations. And then you guys that are watching, you can find me on at Cade McLean on YouTube and now on Letterboxd because I listen to Ledger and now I've loved the app and it's Cade McLean YT on there and that's a phenomenal app. So thank you, Ledger, for putting me on.
I hope this doesn't sound creepy, but I adore your nick. I adore your last name because it sounds so much like McClane.
Yeah,
John McClane from Die Hard.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yippee-ki-yay. And we will hope and pray that he manages to get himself an Instagram just to take a look at the DMs. For that alone. But I wouldn't hold out too much hope. But we'll hope. So if that's it, then I will just say sorry about the lack of content. Working on it. I need to get some stuff out. You can expect a Deadpool Wolverine review. There's no way. No, I have to get that one done. That needs to be coming out. I'm probably going to get a tier list. I might just pre-record most of it and then do one with Wolverine and Deadpool and release it the day that it comes out. But other than that, not stuff just coming down the pipe as much as I can do. I can only do so much. But thank you to both of these gentlemen for being on here. Always a fun time. Thank you all so much for watching and have a good one.
Yep.